Kieron O'Neill channel, plenty of Manchester United news to get into today surrounding Manuel Ugarte, Matthijs de Ligt and also Sofyan Amrabat. We will look at having a discussion later on as well about the reports of job cuts at Manchester United, so stay tuned for that one. Get involved in the chat, everyone, and we'll try and discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. Now, first of all, surrounding Ugarte, I think it's time for patience with this deal, do you?
Oh, without a doubt, it's patience. Look, the personal terms have been agreed. It looks as though like it's dragging on, but you have to take into consideration what PSG are doing. It's not easy what they're doing. Osimhen, they're going to João Neves from Benfica, and I did say last week Benfica will try and extract. So I think it's just a matter of patience and waiting for PSG to do their deals. It's all about money. How much is available, how much people can spend, and until PSG do their business, I think United fans are just going to have to sit and wait. Ugarte is the target, the main target. Ugarte, shall I say? I keep pronouncing it wrong, but
Doesn't matter, I do it all the time.
Yeah, he's the main target, and Manchester United clearly want him. They're still talking. There's nothing to worry about, and I'm sure Manchester United are quite clear on why there's a hold-up, and they're being patient. I can't see him going for anyone else until PSG deal with their transfers. Patience.
Yeah, it is also going to be interesting as well. How we actually navigate this transfer and agreeing a transfer fee, especially come August when clubs really are reluctant to sell players unless it's for a bigger transfer fee, because it's then going to take them time to replace that player as well. So the buying clubs for me when it comes to August are always a step behind as well. So hopefully, you know, the journalists over here are behind the actual news as well. Yeah. And maybe there has been some sort of gentleman's agreement between United and PSG over a fee, or even a loan deal with an obligation to buy for Ugarte, and they're just waiting for their players to come in at PSG.
Yeah, I think there's a fee agreed. It's not clear if United have actually confirmed any fee or any genuine, what are usually spot on reporters out there. But I think there's a fee agreed, and I just think we've just got to wait there. Yes, speculation. There's always speculation. We know that. I speculated myself. 51 million rising to 59 million. Is that right? But I do believe United have sorted out a fee with PSG so it can get done straight away. That's my own personal feelings, because I think they've been in this conversation for far too long now, and I think they understand the metrics of everything about this deal.
Yeah, I think there's also been conversations with PSG, like we've discussed on other videos and reports out there, about other players, possibly PSG wanting Jadon Sancho, also Man United maybe wanting one of their players apart from Ugarte as well. So there has probably been discussions there about them players, but I do agree they will be there or thereabouts in an agreement with a transfer fee. Whether that's been agreed and under a gentleman's agreement, it's yet to see, but I do think they're close.
Yeah, I think a gentleman agreement is exactly what it is. But as we all know, with a gentleman's agreement, it can go pear-shaped, and it can only go pear-shaped if they don't get their players or if they have to pay more. I did say that Benfica will extract as much as possible, and there you see it. Benfica, by all reports, are out there touting João Neves to other clubs and everything. They already know what the fee PSG want to pay, and they're asking other clubs, hey, come in, bid more than that. Now that's the way it's working, so we've got to sit tight and hope that PSG get Neves.
Yeah, I think you've still got to be positive around this deal, considering the deals Manchester United have been getting done, not just for players, but people coming in the background as well. And, you know, I think myself, like I said, when you're approaching that August time, getting closer to the end of that transfer window, if there's nothing agreed, I'm sure Man United will have other players on the list where they will then go in and negotiations for that player. I don't think there'll be any hanging around, but, you know, for me, this has been going on now for a good maybe 3 weeks or so, correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't think Man United would be still hanging in there if they didn't feel the deal was close.
No, you have to look at the club itself. Ratcliffe did say, and he was eager to restructure this club, and the way the transfer people what deal with it, that's fully restructured. We've got two good signings in. We've got this one now, Ugarte. Is obviously a proper Man United target. They're eager to get him and they want him. They see him as the man. And Ratcliffe, as like I say, he's restructured everything. That's what we wanted, and patience again is what we need.
Yeah, going on to Sofyan Amrabat, I wonder if he's got any patience, because internally the main names the United are discussing for that midfield area are Ugarte and Sofyan Amrabat still. So what do you expect with this Sofyan Amrabat?
I did say, and I have been saying it all along, I think what it is, if you look at the contract, the 1 year contract, what he had at United on loan, I think that was too much, the option to buy. Obviously, the people in charge here have looked at it and gone, that is way too much for what Erik ten Hag wants him. I see Amrabat coming in as a good squad player, and I think Erik ten Hag wants him as a good squad player. So to pay the fee what they want, €20 million, I think that's overrated, overpriced. So at the end of the day, United are negotiating, and that's the right thing to do. I think they're just holding Fiorentina right to the death, and I think United will get him, and I think negotiations are going on about a reasonable fee, and just to ignore that option to buy at 20 million.
Yeah, they basically just ripped up the proposal of what was there under Richard Arnold and John Murtough, and I think they were right in doing so, considering the fee of €20 million. If we can get that down more or less to the £10 million mark, I think then that's a deal that Manchester United should do. I don't see Sofyan Amrabat as a regular starter in this Manchester United team, but I do agree where you say he'll be a good squad player, and he can come in when needed to do a job.
Yeah, and that's how I see it, and that's how a lot of people see it. I don't think he will be a regular starter, but at the end of the day, you just have to see who United shift out of that midfield. If they're able to get deals done, that seems to be the slow thing, what we're all watching. We don't seem to be seeing players actually going out, first team players, and that's what United need to do. They need to get a shift on with that, but that's proving difficult at the moment.
Especially with the likes of Casemiro and Eriksen still being in there. If Ugarte does get pushed over the line, they bring Amrabat in as well. You know, that midfield's looking packed, where they could actually let one or two of them players go as well. You've got Scott McTominay in there as well. You know, there's been reports about him maybe moving to Fulham with bids going in. Yeah,
Scott McTominay seems to be dragging on the conversation, but you know, I remember listening to Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes highly recommended Scott McTominay.
He actually said, Paul Scholes, that McTominay was class.
Yeah, he did do, but I'm not too sure whether I can put it in that bracket myself, but I do like Scott McTominay. I think the problem what we've got is all the conversation what United fans have heard about Casemiro, for instance, and I just don't see, and I've always said it, I don't see anyone actually coming in for him because it's too expensive.
Do you think that'll be a good replacement? Let's just say, for argument's sake, we do sell Casemiro this summer. Do you think it's a good replacement then with Amrabat coming in, if that was to happen?
Yeah, I think it is. But then I did say, I look at Casemiro and I thought he was very poor in that Rosenborg game. But I did say for the Rangers game and the Rosenborg game, he looks a different person. He's lost a lot of weight. He looks as though he's been training hard and he's come back to fight. So I think time will tell. I think this America tour is pivotal to how people sort of view Casemiro. So at the end of the day, the players go to the USA tour. They're all there in the shop window. So let's just see what happens.
Michael Coder, welcome to our members club, mate. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah, a little bit of an update on Matthijs de Ligt as well, your mate Matthew from Simon Stone. And it said at the bottom of that snippet there, United are also trying to bring in another central defender, although 2 bids for Everton's Branthwaite have been rejected, and talks around Bayern Munich Dutch international Matthijs de Ligt have failed to reach a positive conclusion. So terms have been agreed with the player, but again, the sticking point is a transfer fee.
Yeah, I watched him. I look at this in a different way than the Ugarte transfer. To me, everything's smooth, just ready to go, depending on a few things for Ugarte with PSG. I think I look at Bayern Munich and I think of what's gone on over the last year and the way they've appointed a manager. Now, I don't think things are right in that camp. I don't think they've got the message right. And there just seems to be a bit of chaos there. And this de Ligt one just seems like they've turned around and rejected a fee, and that's it. And they're sticking to the guns. But I think they're just they may be to be sure, they may be hanging on for a bigger fee. But it just seems to be very disorganised in Bayern Munich at the moment, because there's lots of stories about selling this player, selling that player, selling that player. And obviously they had a poor performance. Everything was chaos. And I don't think things have settled down there. So there'll be more news on De Ligt. We do want De Ligt. I prefer De Ligt. I like him, 24, lots of experience. So that's the way I'm going. So United, I don't think they're out of the race for De Ligt. I don't think they're going to give up on it. I think they're just going to wait and see. They're on the tour. People back home here will be doing the work, and hopefully De Ligt is an option and they go and get him.
Yeah, Shaka, welcome to our members club, mate. Much appreciated. We've been talking about internal goings on at Bayern Munich and, being a bit of unrest. Uli Hoeneß, I'm sure a lot of you would have heard of, has said it's possible that the defender will leave. De Ligt is Dutch. The coach at Manchester United is Dutch. But he also said, I would have no problem if he stays. Personally, I would not sell Upamecano. Now, for me, I just don't rate that Upamecano, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's because of maybe one of them things where every time you've tuned in to watch Bayern Munich, he seems to have a poor game. But if he was given the choice, I'd rather take De Ligt over Upamecano. If you agree with that or you don't agree, let me know in the comments. So surely that plays into Manchester United's hands. Someone like that, a figure like that inside the club is coming out and saying, well, it's Upamecano who's our best defender. He's the one we want to keep, and everyone else is basically up for sale.
Yeah, I think what he's doing
in
there,
terms of a transfer fee, negotiations.
I think what he's doing there is he's playing everyone. I think he's looking to sell Upamecano and saying, I won't sell him, hoping to get a massive price.
Yeah, reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology. I think that's what that is. Yeah. He's thinking, well, De Ligt there, I'm not really getting as much money as I would like for De Ligt, and I'd like 70 million for Upamecano. But at the end of the day, I don't rate Upamecano over De Ligt. I think De Ligt there is the man. But I think Hoeneß there is playing games, and that's the chaos what I allude to. These games, silly games being played, whereas Bayern Munich used to be seen as the professional, the solid side and all that. And things over the last 12, 18 months, maybe longer, seems to be going in decline at Bayern Munich, and there's a reset due there, and a big one.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of what Bayern Munich fans have said recently. Google Translate's been my best friend, and a lot of them seem to think he needs wheeling off to a care home. Hoeneß had come out a lot of things outspoken against Tuchel early on in last season in what I've seen. But yeah, we're going to move on to also some news as well about a youngster, some positive news as well. A lot of yous, when we've done the watch-along for the Rangers and Manchester United game, was mentioning this young kid, Samuel Maffa, and he signed a new contract until 2027 with a one-year option. So, getting deals done even in the youth system.
Yeah.
Signed up.
Yeah, well...
Positive news.
Well, there is positive news. Plenty of positive news with the under-21s, under-18s and youth team. But kids like this need to be signed up. They are the future of Manchester United. And this is the strategy Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe are going down. So that's good news. Good news for the kid. He knows what he's got to do. He's got to work hard for the next couple of years and then hopefully get a place in the squad. But hey, fingers crossed for the kid.
Bit of a shock. I don't think you'd mind too much us discussing it on a live stream. As we was hearing rumours yesterday about Joe Hugill. I had a glowing report to say about Ruud van Nistelrooy after that Rangers game. Obviously he scored in that cracking finish, but apparently he's not going on the USA tour. Now that's not obviously been confirmed by the club yet, but we have been hearing stories that he might not be going on the tour. No,
we've not seen any reports confirming it, but that's the story, what's going round at the moment. Hugill is not on the tour, and I thought he scored a wonderful goal. And like you say, he was praising Ruud van Nistelrooy about helping him, talking to him and everything. So everything looked rosy in the camp. So I think Hugill, if he doesn't, if them stories, reports, what we've been speaking to, it looks as though like Hugill will be very, very disappointed, because to go on that tour would have been a big thing for him. It would have been a stepping stone. So he'll just go out now and play his normal games, what he does. But very, very disappointing for him. I thought he had a future. well, maybe not a future, but a chance to step up. And I think this is a huge setback for him. So I think from his point of view, he will look at that over this year and then just assess where he's at. And probably United will assess where they're at with him. But it's a backward step, as I see it, and a big disappointment for him.
Yeah, still remains to be seen whether that info is correct. So let's wait until it's official. But like you say, I totally agree in what you said.
Yeah.
If that does prove to become the truth, that he doesn't travel, but a massive opportunity then for Wheatley.
Well, Wheatley has got to get stuck in on this tour. Reports out there are saying it's like half the travelling squad is under 21s, under 18s, and half the squad is the other senior players.
Yeah.
But Wheatley has a chance here. There's 3 games, less games than normally, and a lot less time spent over there than normal. But Wheatley has to produce in these games to be given a chance to sort of get him into the squad or on the fringes, or to be given 1 or 2 games this season. So he has to perform. So he's the striker preferred, according to the reports and the stories out there. So Wheatley over Hugill. I'm not too sure about that. I thought Hugill has a bit of composure about him.
Yeah, let's wait and see on the official news what should be coming out later today. And there was some news about staff cuts at Manchester United, and the United are in the process of telling staff whether they're at risk of redundancy or not, with the club's new ownership looking to cut current staff levels from 1,100 by 250 cuts. Well,
that's the reports, but we're hearing that there may be more than what's being reported, to be honest with you. You know, we've just heard a story there that some people from MUTV, for instance, they're being made redundant, a woman reporter and a male presenter. But hey, you know, these are stories what we're hearing, but we are hearing that it will be more than what's being reported out there. And I go back to the comment I made before. You know, Ratcliffe is eager to restructure this club. It's overstaffed, and you talk about overstaffed. I go back 9 years. Louis van Gaal on the America tour, he took over 200 staff members. That's what he went out there with. This tour now is going with 120, and a lot of faces, a lot of people out there have been very disappointed and gutted that they've not gone. But saving money, that's what they're doing, and that's what United said they would do. Ineos said they would do when they come in. Restructure the club, look at every aspect of it, and save money where they can. That's the way it is, and quite right. For any person to come in and take over a division of a company, and that's what they're doing. And I don't see anything wrong in it, to be honest with you.
Just as an opinion, just basically a guessing game, this one, just off reports that you've seen over the summer in recent weeks. Do you think any of the first teamers who were here last season won't go on the tour, maybe to stay behind and try and sort out deals elsewhere? There's been a lot of reports around Wan-Bissaka. Lindelof's got a year left on his contract as well.
I did think that the other day, that some players might stay behind, but I've also got to consider that this player's not back yet, or there's 1 or 2 players just come back. So there is players that you look at Martinez, you look at Garnacho, they're not back yet. Okay, there's no sign of Luke Shaw. So at the end of the day, I think they'll just take all the senior players, and any player what's being discussed about transfer getting out, agents will just have to deal with it. And what's the problem with that? That's what they're there for. So I have to change my mind on players staying back, because I don't think there's actually that many players available to go there. And that's why I think it's 50-50 youth and senior players going out there. But no, I think they'll go. Your Wan-Bissakas and all that, they'll go. Anyone who's being talked about as a transfer will go. So it's only, 10 days maximum?
Yeah, seen Christian Eriksen and Højlund back in training a couple of days ago as well. So they'll be going on the tour.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing Højlund this season. I really am, in his 2nd season.
Yeah, I think they'll just take it easy with him when they get over there. I don't think he'll be a starter for the Arsenal game because he's just back in training. Yeah. They need to get up to speed, and you can't really rush him. And if you look at what United, the reports, they've changed the medical staff, coaching and all that. I think there's a different way of looking at how to treat these players, and especially the medical side of it. So I think you have to sort of stay easy and don't be too expecting.
Especially when a lot of them have just played at the Euros as well.
Well, that's it. It takes time to get up to speed, and I think rushing Ireland in would be a big mistake.
Yeah, anything more to add though before we pack it up?
I just look at this tour and I just think to myself, there's a great opportunity for some of the kids and that what are going what I'm hearing, I just like it. There's a freshness with some of these youngsters what are going, and 1 or 2 surprises. I wouldn't be surprised if young Jack Fletcher is over there, Darren Fletcher's son. I know his other brother is injured, but that would make a refreshing change for the squad, and it'd be nice to see him. So there's a lot of things to look forward to on this tour, but a lot of people, unfortunately, have had the noses pushed out, and
just to add as well,
things have changed.
Yeah, just to add there before we go, we're talking about challenges for positions. Big challenge for Anthony, with Ahmad now coming in on that right-hand side. A lot of talk around Ahmad, people more or less wanting him to start the season, give him at least 3 or 4 games on the row, see what he can do. So it's a huge season as well for Anthony. Yeah,
it's a huge season for Anthony, and I believe Anthony should stay for another year. I did talk about his difficulties, and not every player kicks in. He's not kicked in. Things have gone pear-shaped for him. So this year, he has to play. Ahmad will push. He should push. This is his chance now. And also, he should be pushing Sancho. Sancho thinks he's going to force his way in. Not a chance. I've said it straight all along. I don't believe when these reporters came in and say, oh, it's all hunky-dory with Erik ten Hag, they've made up and that. No, they hadn't made up. And I made that quite clear the other week. They haven't made up. There's no apology or anything. And anyone who thinks that Sancho's come back to try and fight for a place and to stay in this Manchester United squad and that he's going to be integrated back into the team, to me, that was utter false. He's here to be in the shop window for one thing and one thing only, and that's to be sold. Clear as day. So I think Ahmad will be fighting Anthony more than Sancho at this moment.
Dan Fenton, I reckon Højlund and Xerxes under Ruud van Nistelrooy will be getting them scoring a bag full of goals this season. Well, hopefully he can sort out the wide players as well to start getting balls into him, because they can find themselves in the right positions, but if they're not getting fed with the ball with the wide players, the midfielders, chances are going to go amiss.
Well, you have to go back to what Hugill, the youth player, has said. Okay, like I say, he'll be disappointed not going after communicating with Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ruud van Nistelrooy seems to have it. He seems to have the stature. When I've seen him at Rangers, he seems that the presence what he's got will inspire people to improve. And his ability and his knowledge in football is absolutely fantastic. And he will be a tremendous help to any player in this squad.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you all for joining us today. Plenty of good opinions in there on the range of topics we've discussed. If you want to continue the conversation, get involved in the comment section. If you've enjoyed the video, you want to help support us, leave a like on the video, and we'll be back tomorrow with another Manchester United chat. So get that notification on Reds, and we'll see you again soon. You take care, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you.